Welcome back. I'm Jana with Purl Together, and in this week's video, we're going to talk about block 6 for the Berroco Mystery Blanket Knit Along. So block 6 and 7 this month will be lace, and there's some interesting techniques. I like knitting lace. I'm not really a lace wearer, well, that's not true. I've made the Mahina cardigan, and that has a little lace trim along the bottom edge, and I really enjoyed that. And it also on the bottom edge of the sleeve, so that was cool. I've just never worn anything really foo-foo lace, but I enjoy knitting lace because it's usually just stacks on each other, kind of like color work. So that's one tip I'll give you right off the bat is if you are more of a beginner knitter, put some stitch markers at the end of each chart repeat. So in this case, after you get cast on and get started, you're going to put stitch markers at the end of each 16 repeat of stitches so you keep track of where you are. That will help. And then I will also give you some more tips about keeping track of where you are and reading your knitting, doing the center double decrease, and also how to tink that. So stand by for that. I just have one more repeat of the chart to finish, and then I'll have my 6 repeats total. Obviously, it's not blocked, but this is going to look fantastic in our blanket when it's done. So this is my color 5, and it's lovely. Okay, I decided I'm going to do a separate video for block 7 because I want to show you the way I choose to do the pinhole cast on, which is also referred to as Emily Ocker's cast on. Same thing. So that video will be out next week for block 7. Alison Green also has a video today about knitting lace, so I'll link her video down below in the description. And it's not too late to join the knit along, people. It's only April. So jump on board if you want. It's these squares are a great summer project. So if you need a good traveling summer project to do, get some squares going. Also, I want to add, you're casting on a total of 51 stitches, so use my Longtail cast on calculator. There's a link below in the video description for that, where you're just going to multiply the number of stitches you need by the size needle that you're using in millimeters, not US sizes, but in the millimeters, the diameter of the size needle by pi, and then some other simple calculations. So head over there, sign up for my newsletter, which I don't email out very often because I can't seem to get myself together to do that. So maybe once a month at the most, and then you'll get the page for the Longtail cast on calculator, which is super helpful. As I'm working through this pattern, there occurred to me several things I wanted to point out, especially if you are a newer knitter and you're looking for ways to make knitting lace a little bit easier. So let's take a look at the chart. I prefer to use a chart rather than the written instructions because it just seems to me a little bit easier to notice patterns and things that's going on to make your knitting go a little more smoothly. So right here in the very beginning, I like to take note of how many stitches are in between here, kind of like last month when we had Berroco put the numbers in there of how many stitches there were. So here there's 9 stitches between these decreases, and then 7, 5, 3, and 1. So you notice the pattern there right away. And then we have the central double decrease up here at the top. And you'll notice there's always 1 stitch between the decrease and the yarn over. And then you'll notice when you're knitting a chart back and forth, if you're newer to reading charts, I'll put a link down below in the video description that shows an easy tutorial on how to begin reading charts. But on the right side, we're going across here. And then on the even numbered rows, we're purling back, which will be knits on the right side. So you're purling those back. So you'll notice that you have up to and over 1. So these are going to be staggered like this in a pattern. So that's really easy to see in your knitting, so you can notice that and troubleshoot. Also, you'll notice this center column right here from the central double decrease. You'll notice the center stitch of this triangle will be apparent. So if you have an odd number of stitches, the center would be stitch number 3 out of the total number of 5, or center stitch 4 out of the total number of 7. So hopefully that makes sense. I look for patterns like that all the time just to keep myself on track, and it helps a lot to minimize any tinking or knitting backwards or taking things out. So I do the same thing on the inverted triangle here. So you'll notice this is an upside down triangle that you're going to create with the yarn overs. So here I have 1 stitch between the yarn overs, Where then on the next row I have 3, 5. Notice that 5 and 5 are on the same row. 7, 9. And then here we have 11 between the yarn overs at the top. Here you have 11 on row 11, which is, you know, coincidental. Okay, so when you're looking at this, you can see that even though this looks more like a rectangle going up, when you're knitting it, it looks more like a 45-degree angle here because knitting stitches are not exactly square. Since I'm doing dark yarn with color number 5, I'll put this page behind it so you can see more clearly. What you can see here is the central double decrease down here and then this center column. So I always double check myself and make sure that this is going to be stitch number, this stitch that is the center of the span. So hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so I think all of this is pretty self-explanatory for knitting. The only thing I want to show you is the only technique I want to show you, I think, is the central double decrease. Like we talked about, as you're knitting, you're just going to want to take note of how things stack on top of itself. Your central double decrease is here, and then you can tell as you're knitting if you're off, if you're off track in your count by how things stack up. So if you're using a post-it note, for example, on your chart, as we've talked about before, I would put your post-it note above the line that you're working so that you can see how things stack as you're going on. All right, I've completed my pattern up to where I'm ready for the central double decrease. And I can tell that because I have you can see the decreases coming up here on both sides. And there's 3 stitches here, which is the culmination of the apex of that triangle. So now what I want to do is take both these two as if to knit, take them off the left needle together as if to knit, but don't knit them. Then I'm going to knit the next stitch, taking the yarn behind, wrap and knit that like normal, and then take your left needle point and lift those 2 stitches together up and over. Now what that does is it creates a nice tidy decrease with the center stitch from the column right on top. So I'll show you that again. Let's go ahead and work across and make sure I did that yarn over since I was talking. Yep. So there's the central double decrease, knit 1, yarn over, and knit however many I need to across, which I think it's 11. But I'm not actually counting because I can read my knitting, and so I can tell when the next yarn over needs to happen because there it is. So I'm going to knit the stitch that's right above the yarn over, then do the yarn over, knit the next stitch, and then I can tell I'm ready for my central double decrease because of the apex of this triangle here. So again, we're going to go in as if we're going to knit these 2 together, slip those off, knit the next stitch, and then lift those 2 stitches up over the top together. And then I always kind of give it a little tug just to straighten everything out and make it tidy. So you might be asking, well, what happens if I need to tink that? You're going to do exactly what you did in reverse order. So the last thing we did was lift those 2 stitches together up and over. So let's take those 2 stitches off the same way. So I take my left needle in underneath the left leg of those 2 stitches, and I take them up and over. Then I'm going to go in underneath the one that I knitted, and there you go. And then I can take these back over to the left side. There you go. It's like it never happened. So if you have to tink, that's how you do it. Just exactly the opposite of the way you created the stitch. So slip those 2 together knitwise, knit the next, and lift those up over the top. Okay, then I was straightening everything out a little bit. Knit 1, yarn over, knit to the end. Okay, I hope you found those tips to be helpful. All right, I hope you have a good weekend. Thanks for watching.